This is Oilersnation Radio, your one-stop shop for everything Oilers. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Bagged Milk, Tyler, Liam, Rick, and Dan starts now.
Frazzled start to the podcast today.
Hectic stuff going on here. The mics work?
Mics work? Like, wow. Tyler, you want to talk for a second just in case?
Oh, yeah, check 1, 2, 3. Is the screen working too?
We couldn't worry about that anymore.
It is technically working.
I was going to say, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's technically working.
It, you know what, though? It kind of reminds me of watching TV in 1991.
It's fair.
You know? Kind of color.
But
last time the Oilers had a lead in the Stanley Cup Final, BM 1990.
Thank you.
So back in the day, if you wanted to fix that, you just walked up to the television.
Swift one.
Yeah. Right to the side of the TV. It honestly would hurt your hand.
Yeah,
that
you got to be careful because that TV weighs 2,000 pounds.
It was insane.
It's counterweight.
Is there any technological advancement quite like TVs where, like, even with inflation, you go back, and my brother-in-law was like, man, I remember buying my first big TV when I moved out. He's like, I paid like $2,400 for a 50-inch TV or whatever the price
Yeah, I
was.
paid $3,000 for 52 or something.
Yeah, and now it's like, we were laughing about this with Doobie because his kid broke a TV last week, he said, and the kid was all upset. And Doobie's like, dude, Amazon, $400, new one's here in 3 hours. And it's a 55-inch smart TV.
Yeah, it's like, I remember
A third of the weight.
Yeah.
my sister owned an electronics store for years and years and years. And when flat screens first came out, they had like a demo model. We're talking a 42-inch plasma, which they don't even do plasmas anymore. The retail on that thing was $8,500.
Do you know
like,
what?
Again, put that into today's dollars. Who in today's world would be like, all right, I got to drop $14,000 on a TV?
Some people do. Do you know what you get, though? You get a TV the size of that dang wall right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got a mega TV. And the fun part of the story, spoiler, that thing never sold.
Just sat there.
It's just sat there, and it's up in my brother-in-law's office now.
It's the gigantic paperweight.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty
Does
much.
it work still?
Yeah, it still works. Just takes a minute to heat up, you know?
Do we not use those now anymore because the plasma ran out, or?
I don't know.
I think it's like,
I think the LEDs just got better.
yeah, everything's got better. Like that TV, like when you're moving it, you can't lay it on. It's like
Yeah, there were so many rules.
you got to keep that thing straight up when you lay it.
You basically had to have it in the Pope Mobile. You know what I mean?
I thought I just needed to
We're on
donate
a time
enough plasma.
crunch today because Rick has a real job.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's game 2. It's Friday in Edmonton. I'd like the weather to clear up a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, what just happened?
So we got a delicious debate to get to for our friends at Odd Company, proud partners of Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for the next big game, your next go-to lager. Find it at either Odd Company location here in the city or at liquorconnect.com. Search it up. Find a liquor store near you that sells it. If they don't, ask them to bring it in. It's delicious. You're going to enjoy it. I'm going to have myself a couple of crispy ones when this podcast is done. Come on down to Dog Patch. It's on tap.
That's nice.
It's nice. All right, Tyler, you were late. You're the reason we were all sitting here. I'm putting you on the spot with a delicious debate.
Anything surprise you about game 1? Anything the Florida Panthers did? Anything the Oilers did? Was there anything as you sat there and watched that made you go like, whoa, wasn't expecting that to be something that happened in the game?
I don't think I expected to see the forecheck of the Edmonton Oilers have as much of an impact on the Florida defense as I believe it did into the third period and the overtime. That appeared to be a defense to me that did not want to take another hit. And that's shocking to me in game 1. I think that's the Oilers stealing a little bit something out of the Florida Panthers playbook by making them hurt in game 1 kind of thing. But love to see that.
I would like to see them be a little bit crisper with their puck movement. I think Jay and I went to game 1, and we were both a little bit surprised by the fact that our defense would bring the puck out and kind of force passes when they weren't being forced to make the pass yet. Like you had a lot of space in front of you to keep skating and let something open up, but it's like they started getting going, and even though there's a bunch of space in front of them, they were trying to pull off that really, really long pass that I just want to see them take a couple more strides, force Florida maybe to come a little bit towards them, and then make your moves and make those passes stick to stick, tape to tape.
Then we got
Something that surprised me. The Florida blue line was much slower than I anticipated. I think it's an area of weakness that the Oilers can attack, and they did attack quite well, actually. As the game progressed, like Ekblad, I thought he was terrible. No reason to be playing the way he was in that game. I thought he was off. That probably the worst.
Maybe he doesn't
player
have a
on the
lift
team.
this year.
Would you say he's between cycles?
I honestly,
the crowd was just giving it to him.
Were they? I was up in wherever I was sitting, and I was trying very hard to get that going.
I could hear pockets.
At least my section, or the section over from me, had a couple of guys who were just going at him.
There was pockets, but it never really took over.
Yeah, I had a guy like a couple rows down and to the right or something like that. He was quick to join in on my antics.
I think for me, and maybe this is my ignorance of not watching, like I watched the Panthers a lot, but I never looked at box scores, right, throughout the playoffs. I didn't expect them to have as short a bench as they did. They had 3 forwards in Gadjevich, Boquist, and what is that other dude's name? Nosek, who played
first star of the game.
100%. They played under 10 minutes, despite the game being almost 80 minutes long. And then on D, they had 2 guys under 20 minutes, in Kulikov and Nate Schmidt under 20 minutes, despite, again, being almost an 80-minute game.
Well, and I think Gadjevich went off with an injury early in the third period, was it? Anyways, and that's one of those things that something that stuck with me when I was from my football days in high school. I went down with an injury in one of my first games, and I just remember the other coach yelling over to the players, "Look, we just took down their biggest guy, and he's soft as hell in the first 10 minutes of the game," kind of thing. And I really think that kind of statement from the Oilers, where you've got an overtime game looming, having their depth not be able to save them from anything, I think was a big point.
Almost like the reverse of last year, right, where the Oilers had guys, Ryan Carrick, playing like 6-7 minutes a game, and it was like, man, the Oilers needed their big guns to come through. Last game, like Florida again running 3 lines, it's like, man, did they ever need their big guys to come through for them? And they just weren't as good as the Oilers' big guys, and then the depth saws off, or ends up +1 in the case of the Arvidsson goal, and look where you are.
I just think it's like, it's interesting because it's the same thing the Kings tried to do in round 1. And as a
Tried to do or forced to do?
Whatever the answer.
I think it's forced to do, because you look at those guys and go, I don't feel confident putting you out there against anybody on that other bench.
But you got to find
the other guys. You guys got to get out there and do it.
They're going to get gassed, and that's a major advantage for the Oilers.
I also think the Kings weren't forced to do it. I think they just did it stupidly. Fair. I think if
he went in there like they're only going to play 6, 7, 8 minutes.
I think they were massively outcoached. And when you actually look at that 4th line of the Kings, not to go too far, but like Hellenius and Malott, when they played, were pretty good, and Turcotte was good. Jordan Spence has no excuse to play that guy like 5 minutes like they did. And I think as well, when you look at like the Florida team, like that Jesper Boquist, I think he has like 3 goals so far in the playoffs.
He's fast.
Yeah, he's a good player. Like Gadjevich, yeah, like he's just kind of a tough guy. But I think you got to find ways, like BM just said, like you got to pick your spots. Those guys can't play 7 minutes and you expect to win.
And do you think that being on the road and not having last change played into that at all? Like, do you expect to see a difference in Game 3 once they have last change and they can line match a little bit more?
You would expect it, yeah. I would think so. What did you say, sorry, like Schmidt and Kulikov played?
Schmidt played 17-18. He had 25 shifts, and Kulikov did 18-14 on 27 shifts.
So that's not that crazy. That's kind of, I would say, fairly normal.
Well, you got to keep in mind there's
the extra period.
4 minutes of overtime probably for each guy.
So they probably got
14, 15 minutes. You're right. It's not abnormal, actually.
Yeah. Like the Oilers' lowest guy, I think, was Wallman, and he finished with like 23.
So the Oilers up front, the lowest was Trent Frederick at 13-36.
Great chance in overtime, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what a save by Bob.
Yeah.
He put it in the middle of the net, though.
On D.
Bob had that covered.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Don't take anything away from him, but
on D it was Wallman 23-07.
Yeah.
And I with Wallman, I wonder how much of that was just Paul Coffey being like, "Listen, man, you're Chris Russell right now. Just take a breather."
I was just thinking that too.
I love the big hits. There was twice where I was like,
along
"Whoa,
the
buddy!"
boards in front of the bench.
who was the Detroit defenseman?
Cronwall.
Yeah. There were a couple times that you could see Wallman coming across, bent over, looking to a Cronwall hit, and the Florida player just caught it. All right, I'm getting the hell out of this way.
The one right in front of the benches, though, he sent that dude flying.
Yeah, he caught a couple.
I did start to notice him grimacing, though, in the third period.
He went off in the first period after that one hit. And I was like, "Oh, Troy Stetcher time."
Yeah,
he
I was
blocked
grimacing
that
before
shot,
the game
right?
started.
But
We'll fight through.
But I think that even it might be the possibility that you have to see him spell out at some point. But love to see that he's just driving and going harder almost.
When I saw him block that shot in the first and not leave the bench, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we should be okay.
Yeah.
Like he was waving TD Force off at some point. Like, all right, just give him a breather. The old stinger, it takes a minute. You got to walk it off sometimes.
To walk down the tunnel right now is going to take something serious.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys even just like you want to at least get to the intermission, and then if you don't return, you don't return. But no one wants to be the guy walking down the tunnel.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I want to get to a little bit more of the game recap for our friends at Oodle Noodle. Today is game day, and that means you can get 2 signature boxes and 2 spring rolls for only $29.97. That offer is valid in store and on oodlenoodle.ca. You just got to order takeout. Trust me, it's a Friday. It's a big game tonight. You're going to want to put a base layer down.
Yeah.
What better place to do it than our friends at Oodle Noodle? The game day promo. There you go. I want to talk about the first thing is the obvious one. Last year in the Stanley Cup Final, Leon Draisaitl, 0 goals. 66 seconds into the first period, goal number 1. Less than about 30 seconds left in OT, goal number 2. Tyler?
Bookended by 2 Leon Draisaitl goals coming off a Stanley Cup Final last year where he didn't find the back of the net once. I've talked about it a bunch. Like, one of the biggest reasons to believe that this year's Oilers team is going to be different. You don't hold Leon Draisaitl goalless twice, right? Like, that's not going to happen back-to-back series. Draisaitl's healthy. Draisaitl's playing better. And he was their best player last game? Maybe next to Stu? No, you don't win the game if it's not for Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, he was their best player.
He was their best player.
And again, there's another angle too. Like, we're talking about Leon right now, and he was great. I thought he was great in all 3 areas of the ice. He's so much fun to watch. The celebration where he's just looking off into the crowd, you love to see that. But another one goes like a guy who was banged up last year and unable to kind of stay healthy, or I guess he wasn't healthy at all, is Evander Kane. And like you mentioned, Aaron Ekblad, like there was a huge hit behind the net. That was the first handful of shifts. Yeah. So having a healthy Evander Kane is a big boost to the Oilers lineup as well.
He didn't get an assist on the opening goal, but he played a huge role in that, just like the way he crashed the net so heavily and kind of caused a bit of chaos. I think he was forcing out of the way a little bit too, and made the lane for Leon. That huge play, finishing him with 8 hits.
Wow.
And also, how many shots did he get this season?
Deserves a goal or 2 in the series.
Yeah, well,
deserved it last series too, if I have to say.
And I know that Leon's obviously aware of his injuries that he was suffering through last year, but if there's one guy on that team from last year that is letting it sit with him probably not well all season, it's Leon Draisaitl.
The other guy's obviously Connor McDavid. I don't believe at all he was 100% last year in the final.
Yep. And he still had 2 4-point games.
Yeah, he just willed himself forward. Yeah. And I think like you watched him buzz. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the video. A lot of people were sharing it on social, the slow-mo video of the OT winner. It's just so Connor McDavid's masterclass of weaving through traffic when there's sticks waving around everywhere. It's just like he's so dialed in right now.
I think that's the kind of McDavid play. I love that slow-mo video. That's kind of McDavid play that as a fan base we have started to take for granted.
Yep.
Like when you watch another random game and you like watch their power play, can't get into the zone, and you're like, oh yeah, we never have that problem.
Give it to your McDavid, man. He gets it in very easily.
You know McDavid just...
the only thing I want him is 2 more strides inside the blue line, please. Because he likes to dish it. He likes to dish it a little early, and he did either in the last game or 2. He like dished it right before the blue line and took himself offside.
The biggest thing for that for me was watching that. Like everybody goes to Leon and Connor goes right to Nuge for that pass, that setup to get him into the zone. It was awesome.
The other angle too, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit about, I think it was Connor that said it, is like when you're really aggressive on the PK, like it can be stifling when it works. But when it doesn't work, there's someone wide open. And that's bad news when the 2-on-1 that you generate from that situation is Connor McDavid to Leon Draisaitl wide open in front of the net. Yeah. Also, he didn't get a point on it. Nuge, really nice board work there. Evan Bouchard too. Those two, the little give and go before it went to Perry. That was just really well executed.
Everyone touched the puck.
Everyone touched the puck, yeah. Great dish by Perry. Little backhand. Connor, beautiful sauce. Same with the other interesting thing that I noted from game 1. I'm way ahead of myself now. Game 1 is, I don't know if you saw the clip of Gretz talking about how, listen, they're giving Connor space out wide.
Yeah,
he's got to
like
go
OT
wide
intermission or something like that
behind the net. You're going to find a late man trailing, and then boom.
Does it.
Big Viking Daddy, 20th goal scorer on the
How do you get the puck through?
I will never be able to dance.
There's only one other well, maybe 2. The other guy was on the ice, but only one other person not on the ice so there who can visually see that and go, oh, you just pass it right there, man.
It went
and
through legs. There was sticks. Like, I have no idea how that got through.
Bieksa was convinced that it was going to Kane, not Ekholm. Everybody else believes that McDavid saw Ekholm, but...
regardless of whoever it was, it
Unreal.
worked.
Yeah.
You know what? You can't argue with the execution.
It's true.
As it was meant to be. What do you guys make of Matthias Ekholm in his second game since, well, I mean, it was April against the Sharks when he only played that minute 53.
I think we're getting like pretty steady Matthias Ekholm, right? Like I haven't seen mistakes. Like he hasn't come in and like blown the doors off it, but he's never really that kind of a guy.
Just been super solid.
He's just solid, and I haven't seen mistakes. I haven't seen his foot speed be an issue, which like again you could have understood if it was. So yeah.
That's why I wrote in my post-game wrap-up after game one. It's just like, this guy's getting thrown in when the game is going 9,000 miles an hour, and he's navigating it really well despite this only being a second game. He ended up finishing the game with 32 shifts, 25-19 in ice time, with the 1 goal, 4 shots, 2 blocks, and a +2 rating, if you're still into the plus-minus. So
Just glad we were able to get him out against Dallas. Get his feet wet before the Stanley Cup
taster.
Finals. Yeah.
yeah. You know, we were talking about tasters before the podcast started. Sometimes you just gotta work your way through it. Mm-hmm. You know, Tyler, you a Scotch guy?
I am.
Well, we found one.
I remember at Christmas time when we had a bunch of family over at my parents' house. My dad is, I had a couple uncles over. They like Scotch too. And my dad was like, okay, you guys are the Scotch drinkers. So he pulled out this bottle, and I forget what kind of Johnny Walker it was.
Blue? Blue's the expensive one.
Yeah, okay, it might have been blue. Yeah, it must have been blue then. Because my dad pulls it out and is like, someone gave this to me as a thank you for a plumbing job I did. My dad's like, just get rid of it. I'm sick of having the bottle.
Yeah,
and
black
my
and
uncles
red.
were like,
yeah,
really?
Blue's going to get your eyebrows up, black and red or whatever, but
Yeah,
blue will get the,
blue,
oh
yeah.
my, the good stuff.
Yeah, so that was good.
There you go. The other guy I want to talk about, Victor Arvidsson and Podkolzin on what ended up being the second goal of the game. Man, if you haven't seen it, I wish I had the audio to plug in now from Devin Dubnyk breaking in that play and how good Vasily Podkolzin was for not taking the easy route around the defenseman. He just tried to bull his way right through.
And Arvidsson recognizing that, okay, I'm about to have a flash screen here. I'm going to time my shot perfectly. And like that stuff's not a fluke in the NHL. Like these guys are so smart that Podkolzin knows exactly where he's going to take away the eyesight for a second. Arvidsson knows if I get the shot to this general area, he's not going to see it, and it played out perfectly. It looks like a weak goal at first glance, but it is not.
Because you can't. They do this all the time, though. They knock sticks out of the way. Like, you've got one guy coming behind another guy, and the guy in front knocks away the defender's stick. Just a couple inches out of the way. Makes it so much easier to get past. It's a veteran team making veteran plays.
The other thing, too, is like Victor Arvidsson has got a cannon. And I know that was a 90-mile-an-hour shot, slap shot, which isn't like a huge boomer at this point in the league, but like, man, I just wish he would shoot the puck more when he has a chance. He rips it.
We've seen it a couple times this year.
But this, to me, is like, it highlights why I want to see more guys playing together with the people that they're getting used to it with. And I think that you've seen it just in those adjustments when they put Leon and Connor together, where the rest of the team just kind of, like they're doing the right things offensively, but they're not necessarily doing the hitch step stuff where they know the guy is going to be kind of thing, where like what we're saying with between Podkolzin and Arvidsson here. So just like to see that, love to see that chemistry built up between guys lower in the lineup.
To that point, Dan, the lines, no surprise, are staying the same.
Perfect.
You don't mess with the winning formula.
Like the same as the beginning of game one, not the end of game one.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the old blender comes out from time to time.
Good.
Sure does.
We can't even, with the amount that Knobloch has been able to do this year and how much success he's had, when he does it, I don't think anyone can say anything anymore. Like, all right, see if it works.
Just do your thing.
Yeah, I'm like I said,
Man's a chef.
I like seeing the guys together with their chemistry. You just accept that when they're kind of slotted together, that they're going to be doing all the right things offensively, just may not be clicking as.
But now you
cohesively.
can play those two guys together because the depth, each row of the depth scoring behind them is actually producing this year, which allows those two to play together, which really throws a wrench in the other team's plans.
One of those guys who's been producing as a depth scorer after getting in Game 4 against the Vegas Golden Knights, Kasperi Kapanen had himself a game in Game 1. Picked up 2 assists. He almost, like, if he had scored that OT one,
Oh, boy.
the roof would have blown off the place.
Because he might have just pushed it off himself.
Yeah, his head, like he might have jumped so high.
Yes.
It was, and then there was that. And then, I don't know if you guys saw it, when he came out for the 3 stars,
Bro was jacked up.
he was fired up, man.
Yeah.
He probably launched that hat 40 rows up.
The
He was
Donaire
fired up.
gun guy was like, well, that's embarrassing. I can't do that.
So I love what Kasperi Kapanen is bringing to the table right now. And I was listening to the post-game show with the boys as I was on my way home from the rink, and there was a quote that came out that he said he felt Edmonton might be his last chance to play in the NHL.
Probably when he put on waivers.
Yeah,
when he put on
just
waivers, he's like, I don't know what I have left here.
Wasn't a bottom feeder claiming him either. A lot of teams would have passed on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just amazing to see how he went from being a healthy scratch in St. Louis, hitting waivers. Obviously, they wanted to send him down to the farm, and he's coming up and playing huge for the Oilers when it matters most.
You guys aren't usually a big fan of this, but would you consider signing him?
Yeah.
Re-signing him?
Yes.
He's $1 million right now.
I don't think it'll cost you much.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be over the $1 million he's getting paid this year.
No, probably at 1.5 of the
So you're
most,
gonna-
I would think. I would do
I
it.
mean,
1 year, 2 year, 3 year?
Okay, but like this is just where you're going to run into a problem. Would you bring back Kapanen? You're saying
Right.
yes. Would you bring back Frederick?
Undecided yet, but if I do, his value is definitely, his dollars has
Would
dropped.
you bring back Connor Brown?
Probably, yeah.
Would you
And
bring
we'll,
back-
have to talk and we'll have to figure out dollars with him too, though.
Would you bring back Corey Perry if he'd signed for $1 million?
Yes.
Okay, so you now have 16, including Noah Philp, you now have 17 forwards next year.
Yeah, I know, because we have a bunch of guys who, but there's going to be a couple of guys there who, they're question marks, and
Sure.
you don't know if they crack
But,
their
like,
lineup.
But even that case, like take Max Jones, even if you want to be pessimistic and be like take Tomasek out of it and then take Noah Philp out of it, so 14 forwards. Like all these, like,
But that's what you need, those 14 forwards, right? And a guy like Kapanen, I think, has already proven if he's cool going in and out. If you're a $1 million player, you're going to be an in and out guy.
but guys also want to play. So like, will Kapanen, if the Oilers are saying, hey, here's a 2x1 to come
However,
back,
someone offers more,
and Minnesota says here's 2x1.5,
fair enough.
on our
Yeah.
third line.
But you're gonna at least go and offer the
you have a
contract.
conversation with all those guys, but I'd be surprised. Like out of Perry, Brown, Kapanen, and Frederick, I think 2 of them are Oilers next year, and 2 of them are out.
Well, Knobloch said after the game that Kapanen was a guy they tried to sign last offseason.
Yes.
That's a good point.
So I think that's a big reason why he could be back.
I could
think
see him
the
letting
team
Trent
really
Frederick
likes
walk
him.
too.
A couple of
Yeah, I
things
think
here
so.
from practice this morning. We touched on this earlier. Was Connor trying to hit Kane or Ekholm? Per Jason Gregor. I won't say. All that matters is it ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, who cares?
Done. The other quote that I loved, and this was again on Gregor's Twitter, is, of course I can't find it when I'm looking for it. This is from Kasperi Kapanen in overtime when the Oilers went into the zone in OT. I just kind of closed my eyes and waited for the crowd pop. It was a huge relief and a great sound. I love that. He is all of us.
But that's exactly it, right? He's a player, but a fan at the same time.
He looked so heartbroken when going back to the bench when he missed that breakaway. They showed him on the big
Oh,
screen.
I yelled and he yelled at the same time. Same word.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Exactly.
Oh,
Damn.
Shucks.
Damn.
Darn.
Is that the?
It's the Bruce Boudreau.
Yeah, that's the Great.
A couple of things here. We're moving along quickly today. I don't know if you guys saw the Oilers bestie quiz with Connor and Leon, but it's very funny.
There was 2 of them, right?
There was 2 of them, yeah.
Interesting.
One was from I think before the playoffs started though, because they were sans beard. As we learned,
Good point. I don't think I caught that.
Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl both passed in chicken, very normal. What we learned from the first one though, Connor no sauce. He has a cooked baked sweet potato that
He
kind
turns
of
into
mashes
sauce.
up
I
into
gotta
sauce.
Yeah, I gotta look into this.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you're just gonna mash. You're gonna bake it. You're gonna take just the middle out.
But that
It
ain't
is a
no
little
sauce.
creamier than your normal potato. You're gonna have to add butter and cream or something to thin it out. But you're gonna have to add a lot to like almost liquefy it. So
I just don't
curious.
get it.
I would like to actually just see it.
I'd like to have like is it just a chunky sweet potato on top of some pasta? That's what I'm picturing.
It might be.
I imagine.
Leon Draisaitl also said if Connor McDavid was not a hockey player, that he might be a pro in track and field. Connor McDavid went, track and field? That's a weird answer. Thought that was very funny. Also,
I think
found
that's
out-
because there's only one thing Connor McDavid was ever gonna do.
well, there was a question that was very, very funny. It goes, what can you not live without? Or what can the other not live without? And Connor goes, my skates.
Yeah. Well, if that's the answer,
Yeah.
you only had one purpose in life. And I mean, if you go back and you look at Wayne Gretzky, because back then the multi-sport trained a lot differently than now, he was a very good baseball player. And I think he played lacrosse as well. And Connor, I bet you outside of golf, hasn't really played anything.
The other thing I very, very much enjoyed from that is finding out neither of them are really big music guys.
That was so funny. When they're both, it's like, what's your go-to hype song or other questions? They're both like, music, no. What are you talking about?
I just listen in silence.
They raw dog flights every time. You
But
know?
there's music on. It's just like a random bunch of stuff. But it's not like I want to listen to this, or this. I think because I believe it's
weird,
and that's fair. But I believe
weird.
it's kind of like what I do. Like there's not a one specific genre or band or something I like, but there's a song out there that gets me going. Sure.
My hype song is from a guy who's not allowed to be mentioned anymore. It makes me sad. Shout out to Kanye.
Didn't know which one you were going with there. There's a few of them nowadays.
I still listen to R. Kelly. I don't care.
Yeah, the remix for Ignition is a great song.
Thank you.
Sticking with music though, how about our boy Max from Mark Hells talking about how they woke up the Panthers from the old pregame nap doing sound check.
He was great. Came by the studio, did ONE, talked about how excited they were. Also ran into their bass player, Nick Dyka, who, they're all Toronto kind of guys. He's not the biggest hockey guy, but I saw him at the first intermission on the concourse, and he was just like, dude, it is bananas in here. I'm like, yeah, every playoff game, buddy. Like, it's crazy. So great having them in town. Love that the Oilers brought him out. Max was awesome on our show.
Yep, go check out that interview. There's clips up on our socials. We'll go check out the full thing on Oilers Nation every day from yesterday. The other thing I want to mention before we get to some betting talk, we actually have our boy Drew from Bet365 in town today.
He's going to get a donaire.
Well, you got to.
I really wanted to ask him to start including hits into the. I just don't know if that's really is.
Well,
Might be
we'll
above his
plan to
pay
see.
grade. I don't really know, but maybe you just hand him a note.
I also told Drew, I'm like, listen, buddy, you guys are going to be paying for my life tonight. I feel it. And he goes, I hope so. What I want to talk about, though, the CN Tower changed their colors to orange and blue in solidarity for the Oilers, and people of Toronto are thrilled about it.
BC plays too.
BC Place was an old one.
What do you mean? They did not do that recently?
No. You got community notes.
I don't. Yeah.
I posted.
I must have caught it before the notes. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, those community notes, they'll get you.
Okay.
I think that's the funniest thing in the world.
I had to laugh at our colleague Rosie there from Leafs Morning Take, who was just losing it. And then he had the hot take of every time he sees the CN Tower, all he thinks of is the Leafs. And I thought, that's weird. It's a tower that's built into the building that the baseball team plays at. And then I looked up where the Leafs used to play, and it's a 40-minute walk away from the CN Tower. Not really sure how you connect the two, but go for it.
When I see the CN Tower, I think about whether or not I could chuck that baseball.
Yeah.
It's true.
Not there because it's such a high-end wall, but the front step, maybe.
I got a gun, buddy. I'll fucking chuck it right to Rookie of the Year, right to home plate.
I dig it.
I do think it's dumb that cities do this. Like, they should not support the Oilers.
Well, no, this is
They
not. This is
have
not
hockey
the city. This is this is a country
Canadian
thing, which I
landmark.
agree with you is kind of dumb, anyways. However,
If it was Saskatoon, who doesn't have a team, then yes. But if I was a Leafs fan or Canucks fan and I saw
if we did high level
that
bridge in
happening,
blue and white, I'd lose my mind.
I'd be pissed. I would not like that at all.
Speaking of
agree.
which, a couple hours down the highway. What is that tower called anyway in Calgary?
The Calgary Tower.
That's it?
I think so.
Doesn't have a
I
fun
think it's
name?
just called the Calgary Tower.
They will also be blue and orange today.
Stop it.
The Calgary
Are you
Tower.
for real?
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. The Calgary Tower is going to be blue and orange today. However, they quickly put out a tweet. The tower tweeted, just so you know, the tower will be lit blue and orange for the 25th annual Calgary Brain Tumor Foundation Walk. We are proudly in support of the cause. This has nothing to do with anything else or colors related to this at this time.
They had to do that last year too. Exact same time. Exact same time of year. Got to clarify.
But great cause. Go support it if you can.
If you're walking, please walk in an Oilers jersey.
Well, and that is the Calgary Tower versus the CN Tower, which is what? Does everybody remember what CN stands for?
Of course, I'm a big railway guy.
So it's Canadian National.
I've always been a railway guy. Everybody knows it.
It's a Canadian landmark versus the Calgary Tower. But I love that the Calgary Tower has to put out a disclaimer every time.
I want to see what one of my favorite places in Canada. What is Niagara Falls doing? They could change the colors on those babies.
That's true.
Yeah,
they can
I
like
They could turn them
What
off.
if they put a bunch of oil into the falls?
Now we're thinking.
Yeah.
Couple of barrels of crude up
and
there.
then just
Why
put
not?
Buy
Dawn
BP.
Dawn into the base.
Yeah.
It'll be all fine.
Oh, come on. We'll just get a net and we'll fish out the ducks.
It'll be
We'll wash them.
really good for the wildlife.
Finally, before we get to the betting, fare thee well, Pete DeBoer.
Very well.
Everybody knew it was coming.
It's a smart move.
You fired yourself after Game 5.
Smart.
But you got to love a paid vacation the next year.
Yeah, you get to hang out, get paid for it,
Go to
step
Italy.
away from the organization before they're about to implode. I think it was a genius move.
And he's going to Italy.
The timing seems weird to me. Just do it last week. Gas him.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No, because then Tyler said this before too.
Too reactionary?
Every other spot is filled.
Oh, so you're kind of like being a jerk and going, haha, all the jobs are gone.
Yeah.
Frank said he thought the Bruins were maybe delaying the Marco Sturm announcement because they really wanted Pete DeBoer, and Dallas was sitting there going,
You know what? I like it.
I have
Pete
to
DeBoer still gets paid.
I respect that move because I'll always respect the move of the Miami Heat when they gave their coach after the
divorce
divorce was over and finalized. So I'll respect those moves. I can get petty like that. I'm cool.
I just think it takes away from the actual issue at hand. And somebody pointed this out in the pit there today, where it is just like it's almost like a free card now for the Stars to not really do a forensic assessment of their team. It was just Pete DeBoer that's the problem.
He'll
Yeah.
get snapped up
Imploding.
quickly too, I imagine.
He'll just be, I think, the guy next year who, when a team starts 1-9, it's like, and Pete DeBoer,
Pete DeBoer, you are a Seattle Kraken.
LA Kings.
LA King. Oh, that's a good pick, actually.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Is Pete DeBoer a Canadian or
He has to
American?
be. He has to okay
Canadian.
going there for the record though.
Because he would, like, if he's a Canadian, obviously, well, everybody knows everybody, but, like, that's an easy thing for Ken Holland to call up his old boy Pete.
Yeah.
You know?
They both have a ton of Hockey Canada ties, I think.
All right. Let's talk some betting here, fellas, for our friends at Bet365. As I mentioned, our friend Drew from Bet365 is in town for the game tonight. We want to help you make some money. So, you want to get in on the action, the Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365. They've got you from game props, player props, totals, and the money line. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 years old or older. Boys, pull out your phones. Let's try and make some money. I'm going to run through the mains here. Money line. Oilers are favorited again today, minus 115 on the money line. The Panthers are minus 105. Puck line, if you're feeling frisky, plus 210 for the Oilers. Rick is already nodding yes. He likes the puck line.
Outside of that goal that shouldn't have counted, the power play goal.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. I want to get to that real quick before I ask the idiot. That'll be my idiot question. So the puck line's plus 210. Over-under set at 6.5 today. We got 7 goals in game 1. Over 6.5 is plus 105. Under is minus 125. Tyler, what are you looking at?
I kind of don't mind the over again. I think Edmonton's going to get 4 or 5 tonight. I really think the scoring's going to go. So I don't mind the over. I don't mind looking at Edmonton's team total. Team
Anybody
total
else?
over 3.5.
What are you looking at tonight?
Well, if you think you're going to score a lot, that means they're going to shoot a lot.
I like Connor McDavid to score as well.
He's dude, like he's buzzing. You know?
Arvidsson over 1.5 shots, minus 105.
You want to milestone that bad boy, and he had 3 shots last game. If he does that again, it's paying, I think it's like plus 210.
Ooh, that's nice.
Plus
very
300.
nice.
Plus 300?
Yeah.
For 3 shots?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hang
I
on
like that.
Hang on a second, I'm busy.
Well, like, and then again, if you were to pair it with something that's like mildly aggressive, Bush and Arvidsson both get 3 shots. They combined for 10 last game. It's plus 750.
All right, hang on, I'm busy. 1 second.
If there's a goal scorer, I think that's going to write the narrative and kind of continue this story along, it's one Darnell Nurse. He's plus 1,400 to score anytime tonight.
I can see Daryl getting a goal. What else you guys got?
Did he shoot last game?
I don't think so. I think we were light on the
How many did I
defense
get?
shots.
I got the
one.
So
4 shots?
Nurse had 1 shot.
He's
on
minus 110 for 2.
Wallman also had 5 shots on net.
Yeah, overtime helps, right? Because a lot more pucks being thrown on net. But the D,
4
Wallman,
blocks too
Ekholm
for
were
Wallman.
Yeah, Bush had 7 shots last game. I got him at plus 3,000 before the series to have 30 plus shots in the series, and he put 7 up in game 1.
That's a good start.
Wow.
There's one future I like, and I want to discuss.
Go for it.
So it's at the very bottom of their futures tab in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Sergei Bobrovsky to make 25 plus saves in every game is plus 1,200. So obviously you're hooped if he gets pulled in a game, which makes me a little nervous. But plus 1,200 on basically betting on the Oilers putting 30 shots on him every game. I kind of like that.
I don't mind it.
I don't know if it's available still, but I did grab that they were going to have one player score 10 or more goals this series. I think Leon's going for it.
25 plus saves right now is plus 1,200.
Yeah, every game
He did it twice last season.
out of 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else you got? Liam, you got anything? Tickling your fancy, Rick?
Nothing too crazy. Like Bouchard's plus 300 to get 2 points. That's not terrible. Corey Perry's even money to get a point.
Hey, Corey Perry, stay out of the box, my boy.
Yeah, that would be nice.
You know, like
the high stick was Kate. Then the
trip.
Yeah, it was a trip.
And he got put in there for the other
Coach
one.
challenge.
Coach.
yeah, coach. Yeah,
Which is fine. Like, that's...
yeah. No, that's fine. That's not him. But yeah. He was in there 3 times.
Yeah, so, hey, you've been here before, my friend. Stay out of the box. We need you. Mm-hmm. Anything else before we wrap it up?
What are the saves at here? No, I'm good.
Both 24.5.
25.5.
Whoa.
Oh, that's high.
Plus minus. You might be able to get something on Wallman since he was a minus last game. Oh, plus 155.
If I'm looking at power play points, I also... Listen, he doesn't get a lot of time up there, but like seeing Evander Kane plus 625
I
for
thought
a power
about
play
that too.
point, it has me thinking of a dabble.
Evander on the power play.
Yeah.
Who's going second after Perry? Who's going to be who's taking the Hyman spot or the third guy?
I think nobody.
Yeah,
So Perry's gonna be there the whole time?
Second,
I think
unit.
so.
Or another one on the power play, if you like the power play, is Evan Bouchard, 1 point plus 195. I also don't mind that. Pucks will roll through him at some point. Yeah. All right. Want to get in on the action? Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365. They've got you from game props, player props, totals, and the money line. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app. Get in the game. Official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Please be 19 years old or older. Ask the Idiots, gentlemen. We got a couple of questions here that we're going to rip through. These are for our friends at Greta. Join us down at Greta on game days for the viewing party. If you missed game 1, you could have hung out with Devin Dubnyk all night.
And he was having a time.
He was having a time. He was signing stuff. He was cheering. I love the reaction to the OT goal.
Oh, I only saw the video this morning. I'm like, one of us, Doobie. Hell
He's
yeah.
one of us. He went out for a donair after with the boys. Like, there's everything. You love it.
It was like a 1:30 in the morning donair too.
That's a
Not
night
like
out.
not a 10 p.m. sun coming down one.
No. That's a night out.
It tastes different.
Join us at Greta. All right, fellas. Start to Ask the Idiots from me. Goal, no goal.
No goal.
Goal.
It was no goal.
It was a goal.
Should it have been a goal?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Incidental contact.
But the contact was made by the other's player, which
The foot was there first.
But if
The foot was there first. If you trip over my feet, that's on you. I didn't trip you. You tripped over my feet. My foot was there. I'm allowed this space too.
But
And then you fell into the goaltender. No one's even looking at the goalie's actually behind us. All 3 of us are looking.
And he basically did that Charlie Chaplin thing for the black and white movies where
Yeah.
totally, I think he sold it, and
Okay.
I think it shouldn't have been a goal when you actually think about it, like with logic and reason. But you're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to look at it and be like, Kulak made contact with Bennett.
Why didn't
which
Bennett
forced
make
him to-
contact with Kulak?
Because that's just not how it ever works.
His name goes first in the alphabet.
Now, if you do it the other way,
What?
What's the other way?
Brett.
Oh, first names.
I just think, like,
That was really quick, by the way. Good for you.
Kulak didn't, like, I'm with Devin Dubnyk on this one. I love that Chris Knobloch after the game goes, I'll challenge that every single
Should.
time. I like what Devin Dubnyk said, that Kulak is not looking at him. He's fighting for his ice, and he fell backwards into the goaltender in the crease.
100%.
I still stand by the fact that I don't think that is enough to overturn it, but I do like the fact that Knobloch made that review and made the referees look at it again, made the booth look at it again, and really just think about the fact that Sam Bennett is in and around that
Good with
area all the
that
time.
being a goal?
I don't think that. I think that it sets a tough precedent to say that that's not a goal. That then, if any other goaltender interference calls come up where a guy falls down, you're asking those guys to judge if it's a fall down.
Fair, but that next time you have to look at it and go, okay, we have set a precedent that says if you make contact with a defenseman and fall backwards, cool. If the forward is the one making contact, then it's on the forward and it's a no goal.
Yeah.
If the defenseman does something, no problem.
Yeah.
But it was Bennett going backward, Bennett falling.
I understand.
See, like based on
and
that
Bennett falling
result,
backwards.
based on that result, if I'm Evander Kane, I'm backing into Bob's
Oh,
crease,
no.
caboose
Oh.
first, and falling into him.
100%.
Agree wholeheartedly. Like that to me, that's yes. I'm with you on that. If Kane's going to the net and he accidentally gets bumped by somebody, that is what the Florida Panthers have been doing this entire playoff run.
But we didn't accidentally
They just
bump
got
him.
away
He
with
bumped
it.
into us.
Again, I just I don't know. I think that case by case basis, you don't win that one. And I think they said the stat on the broadcast is like that's four reviews now of goaltender interference this playoff run that have all gone against the team that called.
Liam is
asked for it.
reviewing the tape.
Yeah. I mean, he falls into him, and it's clear that he did it deliberately, but he felt the leg and he took advantage of
Yep.
it. And that's the rule, unfortunately. Like, I hate it too, but as soon as he did it, I kind of thought, I was like, this is a goal.
As a coach, would you challenge it?
No.
What would you challenge as a coach then? I sit with Jay,
If he didn't touch him. If he didn't touch him and he fell right into him, I always think back to the Corey Perry had a goal disallowed against Calgary early this season, where he was just stood at the top of the crease and Dan Vladar came up to him, touched him, went back, and it was called no goal.
That is true, yeah, and I remember that. Now you say that.
And it's just like, if you make any contact in the sense of, and like it wasn't initiated by someone else on that team, to me, it's a no goal. It's a goal, sorry.
but it was no goal when the goalie touched Perry and went back.
Yeah, because there wasn't something that interfered with Perry. Perry interfered with the goalie. Kulak interfered with Bennett, who therefore fell into the goalie. I think it's a bad call. Don't get
But
me
as
wrong.
a coach, you would not challenge that.
No, I would
I
not.
challenge that every time.
So I would have challenged it, and I'm okay with it.
So I was wondering, like I talked to Jay, I was like, I really want to know what actually both of you guys are going to say, because I think for the most part, every missed challenge this year, you guys have been against making the challenge in general. And I can only think like 2 or 3.
I
but-
wanted it in the
yeah,
moment.
and that's
I
what you said that night.
challenge.
Yeah.
I wanted the Fogo one in round 1 more than I wanted this one.
And I disagree with that. I thought the Fogle one situationally was fine. Like this one, I just felt like, again, you had a lot of momentum. I get that. But if that goes your way and it's 1-0, that's great. It blows up in your face. You're down 2-1.
You're thinking about the whole aspect, not
but
just
like,
the play and the
but like you have 50 minutes to like come
Yeah,
back on
I
that.
see what you mean.
That Fogle one, wasn't it 3-2 at that point or whatever? It was-
Yeah, he just kind of
Anyways,
his way in there.
yeah.
Anyway, moving along. So follow me through on this one. This is from our boy Maynard Nugent-Spivey. He was listening to Real Life the other day when you were talking about home ice advantage. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. But maybe how you can be a little looser on the road to start.
Yeah.
So Maynard Nugent-Spivey is building upon that, Tyler. So I'll start with you. Just got through listening to Real Life where you were discussing playoff home advantage, and Ty mentioned he thought maybe sometimes there's less pressure starting on the road and maybe stealing a game. I completely agree with this. So any thoughts on a higher seed team being given the option of starting on the road in like a 2 road, 3 home, 1 road, 1 home format, kind of more so like baseball, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, 2-3-1-1.
I feel like they did that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't like
No, it complicates it too much and scheduling and all that. I get where he's coming from. Like, it'd be cool if a team is like, no, we want to go on the road, steal 1, have 3 straight at home, and have a chance to finish this thing off. I get that, but you're right. There was a point I think baseball used to do it.
Yeah,
No, I'm out on that. I just think the system right now is fine.
Dan?
Yeah, like I've never really been in on any of this, like let the team pick any kind of stuff, pick their opponents, picking anything. I just think your regular season results slot you in somewhere. If you want to change that format, change it. And I really do think we're coming for a change here soon because the Eastern Conference divisions are not competitive enough with each other.
We're just going to go back to what we
Agreed.
were
Of course we
years
are.
ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't that...
That's it, but this is new. This might be different. This could change it up.
Yeah, so I think you're always going to find reasons to say, hey, it's better the other way.
Mm-hmm.
The grass is always greener on the other side. This is the way it is, and whatever. And I like the fact that we had the home ice advantage, or you get to match lines too, though.
Yep.
And I like that part.
I love starting at home. Like I think about the pregame on, Wednesday, the fucking earth was shaking.
Yeah. And this team, they're not going to get started. I mean, Stu said it. The first time you saw the cup last year, you got googly eyed. This year, it is what it is.
They didn't even look at it.
No, I
Liam?
did.
What do you think of the
Stared.
format?
I think it's fine.
All right, this one, I have no answer for this, so this is just open format. It's our boy Connor. He's come on a bunch of nation vacations.
Oh, yeah, Canadian Connor.
He's in Iceland
Oh.
Why?
Does anybody have a way for him to stream the game in Iceland that you know of?
It was Sportsnet. He's out of country. Sportsnet Plus should work.
No, you have to be on a VPN in Canada. I mean,
That might be an answer. VPN in Canada.
I'd probably just
Sportsnet.
VPN it, Connor. You can Google around and just
Google
NHL.
You could go with like some of those wild like Russian streaming websites.
do we
I
get
guess,
shut
but,
down if I say a streaming website that I know?
your computer is going to not like you though.
Yeah.
IR66 or something like that.
I've used that one to watch baseball before. It's fine.
I miss NHL streams on Reddit.
Yeah, those are the days.
Those were the days. Connor, let us know how it works out. We're pulling for you, buddy. Final question, and of course, Danger Suede comes with the heat, Liam. You know it's a serious question when it comes in from Danger Suede.
What is it? Like, how am I going to fly around the world on a animal?
Well, close.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to start with you. Outside of human,
Yep.
what is one meat you haven't already had that you'd really be interested in trying? And how would you want it served? For myself, I'm thinking Emperor Penguin wings, but served like chicken wings with Frank's Red Hot sauce.
Interesting. Alligator.
It's really good.
It's really good,
it's
actually.
very chickeny in the fact that if you just eat it by itself, not a lot of flavor, a little bit rubbery like shrimp. But once you mix it in with them, it's good.
Yeah,
Nice
it's really
peppercorn
good.
sauce.
It's also a warning.
We could
for
probably
you
do that.
alligators this week coming up. Yeah.
Did you see what I tagged you in?
No. On what?
On Instagram.
Okay.
I tagged you in a video of somewhere in Florida. There was a fucking alligator in the pool.
Perfect. Perfect.
Rick, what's a meat outside of human you haven't tried that you would like to?
Man, that's a tough one because I think I've tried lions or tigers or bears. Oh my! Like I've tried a lot.
Bear meat's purple.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fire me some bear meat. Actually, I've never tried bear. I'll give some bear a go.
Dan, you got something that sticks out to you?
I've tried a couple things. There's a spot here in town that does like fine food meat. I've tried kangaroo.
Yeah, it's good.
Tried emu. Yeah.
What did you say?
Emu.
No, that's not what you said.
Yeah,
Emu.
You said emu.
Did I? Emu.
Emu.
Vitamins, vitamins. You know.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Tomato,
Liam.
Tomato.
But yeah, I don't think that there's any
This is the King's
meat
English
I want to try outside of the one that you took off the board.
I'm one of those people that I will eat whatever you put in front. I'm saving Tyler for last. 'Cause
But
he's
you've
the
also been like
picky
Thailand and stuff too, and
I've been
spent
all
time out
over.
there. So you've eaten a lot of things you probably weren't.
Yeah, I've eaten all kinds of things. Like I could tell you the grossest thing I've ever eaten is bat wing. It tasted like rancid fish.
No.
That's the weirdest one I've
Prairie
ever
oyster?
eaten. Sorry,
Prairie oyster.
my dad makes them all the time.
Yeah, I didn't like them.
I grew up in a family of butchers, so like that was just kind of.
They're massive. And it's weird, weird texture. But
My dad calls them medallions, though, so you don't know what they are. So if you ever come to my house for dinner, my dad's serving medallions. You know what they are. I don't know. I would try literally anything. There's nothing I don't know that I like. I will say emu because I've never had it.
Emu. Thanks for saying
Sounds
it
fun.
quickly.
Tyler, what do you got?
I've been told I make a really good salmon, but I've never had it before, so I'll go salmon.
he's going so off the board here. That's crazy.
Salmon, that just exotic meat.
Yeah, I googled like a good
disgust
salmon
me.
recipe,
This
and
is
I threw a couple
disgusting.
because Amber loves it.
Right.
So I make Amber salmon maybe like once every 10 days, and she's like, "This is the best."
But
meat."
you're not eating it.
No, I'm okay.
Why?
Salmon's
Do you
delicious.
taste test it to see like if it tastes good?
No,
So you're not
What?
a sushi guy then either.
no.
We've been trying to do a Tyler tries with sushi. Or like talking about it for a long time.
I don't really get that. Like, how have you not had salmon before?
I'm not a big fish guy. I don't like the fish.
Yeah, but salmon doesn't taste like.
There's not.
really.
Yeah.
There's being not a big something and not ever trying.
Yeah, like a little fork full. You've eaten cat food You've eaten cat food. You've never tried salmon. That
I
is
like
mind.
shrimp.
Wild.
That's a little different, but yeah,
Mussels?
he's eating cat food,
like
but he won't
mussels.
eat salmon.
Like the thing about is salmon is not a fishy fish at all.
Really?
Nope.
Not at all.
Maybe I'll give
Mussels
her
are probably more
Maybe I'll give it a go.
Nice Cajun.
Maybe
That's part of my recipe.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
True
blows my
chef taste
mind.
is.
It's just
All right.
salmon.
so.
Well, you saved me for last.
I'm
Didn't say
that's-
emu. That was off the board.
I knew saving Tyler for last was going to be the right move. Anyway,
Pronounced
if you want to
emu.
join in on Ask the Idiots, just slide on into my DMs on any social platform. I'll find you. And I'll include you with and ask the boys for their first take. So shout out to everybody who submitted questions. Join us at Greta for the pre-game celebration and stick with us throughout the night. Finally, we're going to wrap up the podcast with some hot and cold performers for nationgear.ca. I want to give a shout out to the Oil Up tees that are up there. Also, what did Max think of his Oily Boy Club tee?
He thought it was cool, and he loved the bracelet Kennedy gave him as well.
I love it. I also see that Aaron is outside the studio right now. He's got a goalie stick. Devin Dubnyk is going to sign that for us, and we're going to hang it on the wall. I'm still blown away that he's in here.
Yeah, kind of cool.
It's unreal.
The guy came.
He's wearing a Nation hat right now.
You guys got to start signing that piece of glass at the front right off the.
They don't want that. So the other thing I've pitched is having like a
I was talking to Wanya about that yesterday.
Wall in here.
Why don't they want it? I was like, literally, I'm pretty sure you can take the glass out.
I think there's a warden standing in the way. NationGear.ca. Go get yourself something for the wardrobe.
Chalmers can figure out how to fill that in.
We'll start off with our veggies as we always do. Tyler, you're up first. Cold for the week.
Don't really have like a really good cold performer of the week, and this is maybe more heartwarming than cold. But I don't know, seeing Zach Hyman high five everybody, it's like, oh, that's nice. But like, damn, I wish Zach Hyman was playing in the Stanley Cup Final. So no, Zach Hyman is my cold performer.
Is he having the cover today?
No, there's no way with his arm.
I do love that he's traveling with the team, though.
Yep.
He's going to be there. He's going to be a glue guy. I love it. We've got a Devin Dubnyk signed goalie stick. A Sherwood.
Did he use the Sherwood stick?
Good question.
I think
might have to Google that.
I think we should have looked into that before buying a stick. It's like getting Gretzky to sign like a Sherwood.
He was a Bauer guy, I think.
It is a Bauer guy.
You'd be amazed how difficult it was to find a goalie stick.
What?
I went to Sport Check, they just didn't have them.
It's not in season.
But they had all the other sticks.
No, just being a goalie isn't in season. I don't know. I was just trying to come up with a good out.
I'm glad I was sitting down for that.
Dan, you're up next. Cold form of the week.
Well, it's been a quiet summer for hockey fights so far, except for on the YouTube front. We got another 250 flags for being violent and bullying just this past week. And when I logged into YouTube, got serviced by an AI ad of our Prime Minister. So great job, YouTube. You're doing awesome. Really appreciate all your help.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Check out this.
You want a fun fact about YouTube?
Yes.
Started as a dating website. You're up, Rick. Cold form of the week.
Well, it's a show on YouTube, too, by the way.
I have to give it to people who keep showing like the clips of everybody in the dressing room after Game 7 last year. I don't know why you want to keep bringing that stuff up, keep rehashing it, even look at it. Why'd you want to look at it the first time? I have analogies for that, but they're probably a little far, and so I won't bring them up on here. But why rehash that? I promise you 97 wants nothing to do with ever seeing that footage ever again. We're all about thinking about tomorrow, not yesterday.
Oh, that's cold.
Liam Harmon, you're up. Cold form of the week.
Cold performer of the week. I'm all good. I don't have one.
So that is the no. There you
This dude literally almost lost his mind about 55 minutes ago trying to figure out the chords in here.
Oh, yeah. The chords. That was a nightmare. But I got it right.
That's a joke.
What
That's
the
an
hell is
absolute joke,
going
is what
on?
it is.
Both. Cold performer for me is I'm taking a page out of Rick's book. The fucking construction downtown, like trying to get to the rink on Wednesday, and I was running a little bit late from when I had to be down there. I had to meet the people I was meeting at 5:00.
Oh, brutal.
And when I'm in front of Greta,
You're on 109th Street was not moving anywhere.
I did not move for minutes and minutes and minutes. The construction downtown is driving me crazy, and I really want to. I hate everybody who, you know? All right, reverse the order. Hot performer of the week. Liam, you're up.
Game 1. I was very sweaty after the game. A lot of jumping around. Felt like I was involved.
You're part of it?
So, yeah, game 1.
He's a hot guy.
I was exhausted after the game.
I bet you were.
I was exhausted going into the game, actually.
I saw
worked
your
myself
post
up.
with the throat lozenges. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Rick, hot performer of the week.
They didn't work very well. It was announced yesterday. They showed them yesterday, but they're bringing back some old school, new football jerseys for the Edmonton Elks, Eskimos, whoever you want to call them. I think they're awesome. They look like what I grew up with, and I can't wait to see him on the field this year. Tomorrow, actually.
Pour it on!
Dan, you're up. Hop from the week.
Mine's going to go out to a TV show that is hosted by a guy who graduated from one of Canada's top business schools with really good grades. It's not the show that he used to preamble that one, Nathan, for you, but it's his new show on HBO called The Rehearsal. If you have not had a chance to check this one out, unbelievable season. He does the Nathan for you shtick with...
Who are we talking about?
Nathan Fielder.
Oh, Fillion.
Nope, Nathan
No,
Fielder.
not Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fielder?
Fielder?
Yes. Yeah.
He had a
Like
show
Cecil's?
called...
He had a show called Nathan for You.
He had
where
a show
would-
called Nathan for You where he would essentially go into businesses and pitch them these outlandish marketing ideas.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
Yeah.
So Dan,
And-
text me that show after.
I will. And so now in this one, he helps people in their social settings. And then in season 2, he ends up helping the entire FAA with a big issue that's going on there. You have to check it out. It is gripping television. The season 2, the 6th episode, you will not, it's unbelievable.
Dan, text
Unexpected.
me that name after.
The Rehearsal.
I love Nathan for You.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot.
Like Street Sense?
No, it's like it's even crazier than that. And now he's got the HBO budget for The Rehearsal. It's unbelievable. Unreal stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to the Quee. Tyler, you're up. Hop from the week.
Edmonton Riverhawks are going to become the Edmonton Green Onion Cakes for a game, and the merch is so sick. I told Jay we have to get him one of the shirts hit with him being the Oodle Noodle guy. Edmonton Green Onion Cakes, tremendous stuff, 10 out of 10.
It's getting hot in here.
And I have a bonus one. One of our listeners, Brad Bay, doesn't miss an episode of this real life ONE. He got engaged on the weekend or today. So congrats to Brad. And he used Charm Diamond Center. So double shout out to Brad and his now fiance, Tiana.
Put some respect on my name.
For me, this is outside of things. I just locked in my flights. We're doing a little boys trip for a friend's 40th birthday. We're going down to Minneapolis for week 3. Going to watch the Vikings against the Bengals. I'm super excited. I was even talking to Devin Dubnik about it because he was wearing a Vikings hat yesterday at Sherwood Ford. Love that. I'm pumped.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
Score predictions, gentlemen. I'm jumping to Dan first. We're going in the middle.
I did this one earlier. It is 5-4 Florida Panthers win.
Rick, you're up.
5-2 Edmonton.
Liam.
5-3 Edmonton.
Tyler.
5-1 Oilers.
I'm going to go 5-2 Oilers. Double empty net night. Kasperi Kapanen with both of them.
Oh, fuck.
Enjoy the game, everybody. We will be back on Tuesday.